Hey there, Russ here. Welcome back to the shop. Anyway, I got a comment from somebody named Tim that was talking about his fence not being very accurate. He was talking about it in how cutting thin strips, and that he didn't have the confidence that his fence was locking down exactly where he put it. And it never dawned on me that mine does that too if I don't follow a certain procedure. So let me show you how, when you get deflection, and I suspect that all Biesemeyers will do it this way. And I don't know, since this is the only one I've ever owned. I've never talked to anybody or heard anybody talk about deflection on a Biesemeyer. It will lock down square when you lock it down. But unless you have that exactly where you want, if that fence is not square when you go to lock it down, it deflects into square. So it does move. And that movement is amplified the further away from the lockdown point it is. Obviously, that has to do with a fulcrum point. So he was talking about every time he locked it down, it would move 2 millimeters or some increment amount. And I decided that after thinking about it for a bit, I told him I think I know what's going on there, because I've never shown you guys this. So I'm going to show this to you real quick. It's sitting right down in front of, on the other side here. So I'm going to turn this around. You won't be able to see me anymore. And then I'm going to show you how to lock your fence down so that you don't have that deflection, that you can lock it down to exactly where you want it accurately every time. So let's turn the camera around. Let's do this, okay? Okay, I have it down, locked down. Now, we don't care about zero. All we're looking for is movement on the dial indicator. So when I loosen this up, when I move the fence, you can see it moves. So if I pull it away from there, I bring it back and I want to lock it down. I get it to where I want it, and I lock it down. See what happened? That thing moved almost 0.010 of an inch. That can be a problem. So what's happening is your fence, when you lift this up all the way and you move your fence, this thing actually moves off a square of this against this tube right here. So what I do is I use a double lock method. I move it to pretty close to where I want it, and when I know I'm pretty close there, I'll lock it down. You can see it move. Now I loosened it up just enough, and I push it back down just gently, so that I know that it's rubbing, but I can still move it. Now when I tap it and move it where I want it, when I lock it down, it stays put. That did not move that time. So if I move it, lift it up, but I keep it close to the locking, and I move it, there you go. No movement. Now, I could take this and move it further over to where it's closer to where the blade is cutting. The distance from here to there amplifies how far it moves. But I will tell you that if you don't see any movement here, it's not moving over there either. And I would do the shot from there if I had better camera equipment or something, or dual cameras, and edit and stuff. But since we don't, this is still going to show you what I mean. So every time I take this loose, I do the double lock system. I just get that out of the way so I can easily move it wherever I want it. And when I get it to where I want it on my scale, even if it's not exact, I then can lock it down, okay? Now I loosen it up just enough that when I bring it over here and I lock it directly on my line, now when I lock it down, it doesn't move. So I call it the double lock system. I don't know what you call it. I've never heard anybody complain about this before. So anyway, let me readjust this camera. Anyway, I would have to say that I think that's what Tim was talking about, how the fence will move when you lock it down. Because as you move it, it can come out a square. And so that's why you lock it down once, it pulls a square. Then barely loosen it up so it has to slide snugly along the tube, and then lock it down. It does, and then it stays square. That's when you want to be able to lock it down exactly where you want it. So when you saw me doing those cutting thin pieces, I was barely unlocking it as I moved it. But I didn't mention that because it's something I don't even think about. I figured out how to do that within the first few days of having my fence when I first got it. Man, I saw that it wasn't locking down where I wanted it, and after a while I finally figured out how to keep it so that it is square and exactly where I want it, down to the thousandths of an inch without any problem by using the double lock. Anyway, I hope that this is what you were talking about, Tim. I think it was. If it wasn't, excuse me, leave me a comment, or leave me a comment and tell me that you understand now what's going on. If this isn't it, we're probably going to have to talk for a while longer. Maybe even some pictures may be involved, but we'll see. If anybody else out there has this same problem, they want to talk about it and how they do it, if they have the problem. I'm not sure everybody else, if they even have this problem. I've never heard anybody talk about this deflection thing. So if you want to leave comments about this, let's enlighten everybody, because I don't know anything about it. But anyway, hopefully this does cure that. So if you learned something here, hit that like button. Most importantly, come back again, because we're nowhere near done. Thanks, and we'll see you again later. Bye.